Okay, so good evening, everyone. So later we'll be having a discussion about some situation. So let me read about the situation. The country is struggling to dispose of growing mountain of refuse. Much of it is poisonous that we have dumped in the landfills across the nation. So along with other countries of the world, the nations face an urgent dilemma how to manage the huge amount of waste without endangering human health or damaging the environment. So there are few methods of waste disposal discussed by the government officials. Feels that it is also essential to involve citizens in managing the amount of waste that is produced. So a meeting has been called to discuss the issue. Okay, so basically we need to discuss about the best way to reduce the amount of waste produced in this country. So in this brainstorming section, we just need to give out any ideas about how to reduce the amount of waste produced in this country. So maybe we can start have a 5 to 10 minutes brainstorming section. So in this 5 to 10 minutes, you guys can give out your point, your ideas uh, freely without any limitation. So I will jot down your ideas also. So you guys can start anytime you want.
Okay, I can start first. So maybe we will start from our daily life practice. We can use reusable grocery bags and biodegradable plastic bags instead of the normal plastic bags, and to try to reduce the waste in the environment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
Continue from Kayang points. I think we can avoid single-use food and drinks containers and utensils. So whenever possible, we should try to avoid single-use coffee cups, disposable utensils, since they are all made from plastics. So they have to be delivered to a biotrack and will end up in a landfill once we have used them for one time. So anything we can do to reduce our use of these products to add out to make a big impact.
Okay. Next point.
For me, I think that we can practice repair and reuse, which means that we can repair the broken things such as our phones, laptops, or cars, and then we reuse our used item to invent and create new things.
Okay, repair and reuse.
Yeah.
Okay, the next point for me, I think we can avoid excessive packaging or over packagings. Okay, so the next point.
As a citizen, I think we can practice the 3R, which is recycle, reuse, and reduce, to avoid the amount of the garbage produced.
Okay, 3R. Okay, next point.
Also, I think we
For
can
me, I think that
try.
Maybe Shooting, you can first.
Okay, so I think we can try to start community projects. For instance, on Earth Day, we can show our commitment to a clean environment by volunteering for a clean out effort in our community. Also, we can create a community drop-off site for all computers at a neighborhood school.
Okay, next.
for me, I
Jane?
think that we can buy secondhand. Yeah, I think that we can buy secondhand items. For example, our used electronic gadgets such as the phones, laptop, or even our cars.
Okay, buy second-hand gadget.
In essence, on Jane's ideas, I think that we can actually organize the pre-loved item market weekly or monthly, so to provide a platform to let them to sell the second-hand items.
Okay, pre-loved item markets for second-hand items. And for me, I think we can convert organic waste into a useful product such as the fertilizer. Okay, the next point will be spot check the waste management system of the industry. Okay, how about you guys? Any more ideas?
Continue to from Patrick ideas. I think we can try to innovate eco-friendly trash incinerator. For example, the ASER is a Malaysian-made incinerator that has an eco-friendly process of turning the rubbish into fertilizer and building materials.
Okay, it's a good point. Next.
On the point on industry waste,
Kayang first. Kayang go first.
I'll continue. On the point of industry waste, we can actually try to have organization to monitor the industry waste produced by the industry and by the factory in the industrial area, to make sure that they produce the minimum waste in the industrial area.
Okay. Next, Jane.
Okay. For me, I think that we can donate our used item, for example, our clothes to the old folks' home or the orphanage.
Okay, donate used item. Okay, so for me, I will maybe I suggest to slowly transform the city into a zero waste cities. Okay, so any add-on points from you guys?
I think
Uh,
we can. Jane first.
For me, I think that we also can support the government campaigns and talks. For example, the 5R campaign, which are the reduce, reuse, repair, road, and recycle.
Okay, file programs. Next, Shooting.
Yeah, I think we can practice green purchasing since it aims to minimize the negative environmental impacts in manufacturing process and transportation by using durable and recyclable materials.
Okay, next.
Yeah,
Any ideas
and
more?
I found out that actually in Malaysia, the number of recycle station in neighborhood is, and the number is quite less, in quite low than average, below than average. So my point is we actually can increase the number of the recycle station in neighborhood, so can make the citizens to do the recycling activities easier and more friendly. Yeah.
Okay, increase number of recycle center in neighborhood. Okay, good point. Next. We already discussed about, or we already brainstorming about 5 minutes. So let's have a last minute. Any more ideas?
Okay, in extent to my point just now, we can also improvise the recycling management process. So, for example, we can actually provide the 3 different dustbin or rubbish bin to let the citizens to categorize the waste category. For example, paper is paper, and then food waste in food waste rubbish bin, and then another those plastic and cannot be decomposed waste in another rubbish bin.
Okay, so separate the function of the rubbish bin. Okay, next, Jane, do you have any add-on points?
I think that we can have a reward for recycling, so that we can encourage the public to practice recycling.
Okay, Cheating, do you have any add-on points?
I think no.
Okay, no. Kayang, do you have any add-on points?
Yeah, I think we can do some e-waste take back program, so to repurpose back the electronic waste.
Okay, electronic waste. Okay, so I think we need to come to the end. So before we end the brainstorming session, do you guys have any add-on points?
No, for me.
Okay.
No, for me also.
Okay, so I think our brainstorming section is good enough. We have collected more than 20 solid points. Okay, so before we proceed to our discussion, you need to select the points for each row. So as you guys can see, for this scenario, we have 3 main roles, which the leaders, the consumers, and environmental NGOs. So for leaders, it's a representative of the governments. So for the consumers, in these scenarios, we set the consumer into 2 consumer with consumer number 1 and consumer number 2. So for the environmental NGOs, we only allocate 1 environmental NGO. Okay, so based on these 4 roles, we need to distribute the points according to their characteristics and personalities. So maybe you guys can suggest which point is good enough for them. Maybe you can have a look to the points that we brainstorming just now. Okay, so let's proceed to the point allocation. So for the first person, the representative of the governments. So do you guys have any ideas which point is suitable for this representative of the governments?
Yeah, in my opinion, the government has the largest power among all the roles, so they should do the spot check to the waste management of the industry.
Okay, good. We need 1 more point for the governments.
Yeah, I think
I
government should.
think that maybe
Jane first.
I think government maybe can avoid the over packaging. for the food. Yeah.
Okay, avoid overpackaging. So next, we proceed to the first consumer number 1. Maybe Xuting, you can come first.
Yeah, I think for consumer, they should try to practice green purchasing.
Okay, practice green purchasing. Next.
They can also do some recycling.
Okay, recycling. Okay, good. For consumer number 2.
I think consumer can practice repair and reuse.
Okay, practice repair and reuse. Okay, so second point.
And also reduce.
Okay, reduce. So repair and reuse will be the first point, and reduce will be the second point.
Yeah.
Okay, next. So for last row, we will be having environmental NGO. So NGO, which point should allocate to NGO?
My opinion, the NGO should take the initiative to organize the pre-loved item market to sell the second-hand items. And also at the same time, they can also do the e-waste take back program to repurpose back the electronic waste.
Okay, e-waste take back program and also a pre-loved item markets. So we need one last point.
In my opinion, I think NGO can increase the number of the recycle center in residential area.
Okay, increase the number of recycle centers. So I repeat all the points. So from the government, we are doing the spot check for the waste management system of the industry and avoid excessive packaging. So for the consumer number 1, we are doing the recycling and practice green purchasing. And the consumer number 2, we are doing the repair and reuse and also the reduce. So for the government NGO, environmental NGO, we are doing the e-waste take back program and also pre-loved item markets. And the last point will be increase the number of recycle centers in the residential area. Okay, so according to this role, now we need to distribute the role. So for the representative for government, so I will be the representative for government. So for the consumer number 1, anyone want to take this role as a consumer number 1?
Oh yeah, I can be the consumer.
Okay, so Xuting will be the consumer number 1 and consumer number 2.
Me, Jane.
Okay, Jane will be the consumer number 2. So for the environmental NGO, KHAI, you will be the environmental NGO.
Yes, I'm happy to be the NGO.
Okay, so I think that's all from our brainstorming and role distribution progress. So you guys have about 10 minutes to think about your points and elaborate your points. So after 10 minutes, we'll start our discussion. So good luck all.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.